Alright, next I want to talk about the law of reinforcement reversed. Now, it's great to associate positive feelings with those new things that we want to do, eating healthy and exercising. Now, there's also some things, so for example, let's say you've associated some new positive feelings to eating healthy foods throughout the day. But you also have this habit of always going out to eat for lunch, or every time you see some fast food sign, you're compelled to go through the drive-thru or whatever. Or you're at your grocery shopping and you see this whole display of your favorite junk food, your favorite junk cereal, Captain Crunch. What do you do? So there's also some habits that we have, these addictions, these things that we're doing in our life, these old habits, that we have to use the law of reinforcement against them. We have to associate negative feelings with those. And all we're really doing is this. We're simply taking your brain's attention from the positive aspects, the pleasure of whatever it is that you've created a habit in your life, sleeping in, going out for lunch to restaurants with your friends, for example, rather than bringing healthy food. So all we're really doing here is removing the focus how that's hurting you. Because when you are focused on the pleasure, your brain doesn't even think about this stuff. It's not even there on a conscious level. It is extremely adept and powerful. Just blocking this right off and just focusing on the pleasure. It's a strange phenomenon how your brain can just get locked in on the pleasure of something. This is why people do dumb things. You open the newspaper and you see these dumb things like, how could someone be so dumb? Well, it's not because they're dumb, it's because their brain got so focused on the pleasure of that certain thing. For example, you hear about the father that kidnaps the kid because they're going through a custody battle, and he was worried he was going to lose his son, so he kidnaps his son and goes across the state border. Well, eventually they catch him, then he never gets to see his son. And we all think, how stupid. Well, it's because he was focused only on the pleasure of getting out of that painful feeling of losing his child. He didn't think consciously of all the negative consequences. So simply, this is a very basic exercise of just taking the time to identify those things in your life that have become habits, that you know are standing in your way. You're eating before bed, possibly. You're going out to lunch every day with your coworkers. You're sleeping in versus getting up and doing a little bit of exercise in the morning. You're watching TV and getting addicted to certain TV programs. They become your shows. You gotta watch them, so you don't have time to exercise in the evenings. So identifying these things. So use the worksheet, the PDFs attached with this email, to print off and brainstorm some of these things and add to them as you remember them. They come up to you. You know, a top 5 list to start. What are the top 5 things that I'm doing in my life that I gotta stop doing that I know are just killing my success for permanent weight loss? And then taking each of those items and just thinking about, okay, how is this thing hurting me? How is this, just write down, identify all the reasons why this certain thing is hurting me. So then by doing that, you've then taken the focus of your brain to, oh my gosh, this is really hurting me. Now what do I want to do? How can I, what we're looking at here is a scale. We've got to get enough reasons. We can't just write, okay, this is hurting me because one reason. Get a bunch of reasons. Just brainstorm all the reasons this thing is hurting you. Just stack it on and pile it up so that you look at the list and you go, oh my gosh, I've got to stop eating out for lunch. I've got to start bringing my own lunch, my own healthy lunch. Now your brain may be like, oh no way, it's so much fun to go with my friends to work, my coworkers to lunch. I can't lose out on that. Okay, compromise. Say to yourself, okay, I'm just going to go out, I'm going to tell my friends, you know, I'm really working on losing weight, and I'm just going to go out to lunch on Fridays. So we're going to have fun Friday, I'll go out to lunch with you. But Monday through Thursday, I'm bringing my own lunch. So then your brain goes, okay, I can deal with that. At least I get to have Fridays. Or maybe you want to do like Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, you bring your own lunch, Tuesdays, Thursdays, whatever. Just something that works for you. So here's the steps in the process. You identify those things that are in your way. Then you write down on each of those things how those things are hurting you. And you just get as many reasons as you brainstorm. Don't stop at one reason. Get as many as you can. Now, if that thing is, especially your top 5. Now, if you get more, then you may not have to do this so much, but those top 5, for sure, spend some time. This is where you use your willpower. Don't say, I don't do this. Use your willpower here to visualize that situation and how you're going to think about it and how you're going to respond to it. Through visualization, you can do that. It's much easier because you don't have the emotional attachment of being there live. So for example, let's say you have a habit of always going out to lunch with your coworkers and eating at fast food restaurants and having French fries and burgers half the time and high calorie stuff, right? So don't wait until that actual time comes up again to try to, oh yeah, that list I had. And you won't be able to use it because you'll be so pulled emotionally by this that you'll want to just go, and then your brain will go, oh, that stupid list, it didn't help anyway, forget it, blah, 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 and done, it doesn't work. So before doing that, what you want to do is at home, somewhere peaceful, maybe if you got your own private office, close the door, and just sit and visualize that moment, that time, you know, whatever it is. If you meet your coworkers a certain place, or you get a phone call, meet us in the car, whatever, visualize the whole process of how it looks and what you will be doing. So what you'll be doing then is changing, okay? You'll see yourself with your own lunch, your own healthy lunch. You can visualize exactly, yeah, you got an apple, you got some cottage cheese, you got a whole grain sandwich, for example. Whatever it is that's the healthy lunch for you that you brought, visualize that healthy lunch. Visualize yourself not going. Visualize some of the other things that you could be doing positively while eating your healthy lunch. Maybe you go for a walk or something afterwards, or maybe you, I don't know, whatever brings you pleasure. Check your Facebook page or something where you normally couldn't do that at work. You can do it on your lunch break though, or whatever. So you're visualizing this thing, and you're going through all of this. You're both the positives of what you're doing, and then also the negatives of, I'm so glad I'm not sitting there eating a bunch of greasy French fries and greasy fat bomb hamburgers with my coworkers right now. Instead, I'm doing this. I feel, and now think about this. Visualize that feeling. I feel so good doing this. This is so you want to experience feelings while you're visualizing this. So go through this whole scenario. So be sure to use the power of visualization to take your brain through this process before you actually do it. So use the worksheets, identify those things, put down the reasons why that certain thing is hurting you, visualize it, and then you will be successful at attacking those things, those habits that you've always struggled with that have been pulling you away from permanent weight loss. And not only will you be reinforcing the things that you want to do, but you'll also be attacking those things negatively that you don't want to do, to associate tons of pain with those things and tons of pleasure with doing the opposite, so that you get what you want in life and you're successful at permanent weight loss. This is Dave Erickson. Live by choice.